Pay attention to the three major track aging zones. The first zone is the horizon cut. It's that area where the track wall ends and the rest of the substrate begins. This area has high peaks that tend to dry out quickly and bear the brunt of most of the weathering. The track wall, including the wall of the ridges between the toes, is also telling. A newer track in most substrates looks smooth, whereas through aging, the wall begins to get porosity or air spaces between the granules of debris, sand, or clay as time goes on. The third zone is the floor cut, where the track wall meets the track floor. This is where most of your debris is going to accumulate. Be mindful that it is not mechanically caused by the foot leaving the track. When learning about track aging, you're going to find that moisture content is key. If the moisture is already present as the track is being made, the track tends to hold longer than if the strata or medium is dry. We also deal with wind, which is a mechanical aging process, and gravity. Don't be confused by the mechanical action of the foot leaving the track, which sometimes creates cave-ins, versus wind drying peaks and overhangs and ridges and the debris crumbling as a result of the track aging process. The quickest medium to age is dry, hot sand, and the slowest is wet clay. The three major components of most strata are going to be sand, organic material, and clay. Rocks and gravel can still be aged using the layering system we'll discuss later, and being mindful of the presence of dust or the absence of dust due to a recent rain. When an animal makes tracks in the early morning and the ground is wet, the tracks seem to hold a lot longer, even through the course of an entire day, whereas tracks made in the heat of the sun seem to be rounded and lack the crispness. Only your experience and your journaling and your mindfulness of the weather are going to be able to differentiate the difference between an older track and a track made in hot, dry sand versus a newer track and a track made earlier that day while the ground was wet with dew. Track layering is another effective way of aging tracks. In this case, we have a domesticated dog whose owner walks at around 6:30, a tire track who drives to work at around 8 o'clock, and then on top of that we have a turkey track. At some point today, after 8 o'clock, we had a turkey come through here. Since it's only a little past 9 in the morning, we can determine that that turkey came through here within the last 30 minutes. One of the things we got going on is the crispness, the overall crispness of the track. When you step in snow especially, it compresses, which causes it to momentarily heat up. Compression creates heat, and then it'll refreeze. So the track that is fresh, if you tap it, it'll crumble easily. The track that is older actually turns to ice. Okay, it's one way to age it. By bracketing these two trails, this track and the series of footprints that creates this trail looks much more rounded and aged. It's expanded because of the warmth of today. My fresh track is a great mile marker to determine that that second trail right here was made in between the two tracks. So I have the newest, the oldest, and the trail made in between. Make yourself a track aging box. The stylus, I use an old bow drill spindle and put a mark in the ground at varying depths from 1/16 of an inch to a full inch in a row every hour for 24 hours. Then after that, every 4 hours for 2 days. Then after that, every 6 hours for 4 days. Once you get acclimatized to keeping that weather journal and sketching out all of the nuances of those tracks as they age, move to a harder substrate. Work your way towards pine thatch and leaf litter, looking at the patina of dust or the impact of raindrops. Always develop that questioning eye. Snow is the best because it ages so quickly. After all, it's just water. But you can make your track age box right next to where you park your car. It's not the quantity of time that you spend with track aging, it's quality of time. Just be mindful of how different strata age.